I'm Tati.
My name's Danelia, by the way.
Hey, I'm Sam.
Hi, my name's Naomi.
Hi, I'm Rowan.
Everyone in our team slipped.
It was a bit dark at night, couldn't see a thing.
The hostel was a bit bummy.
It just looked like a really weird, isolated area.
I hate uphill so much.
I look homeless.
We're in school.
Yep. We are.
And it's 9 a.m. currently waiting to leave. Danelia, Sam out to say hi. I tried to keep a positive attitude, but then it got to like the day before we went and I was just kind of like, I don't want to do this. I don't know why I signed up for this.
I didn't really want to do it after the practice expedition. The practice expedition wasn't even that bad, but I still want to do it again.
I was looking forward to it quite a lot because I'd enjoyed the practice. And yeah.
Well, considering the practice, I thought it was going to be okay. Oh, I was wrong.
I think before we even started, I just thought it was going to be bad because I just have so many bad memories from the practice expedition.
So we made a stop at a service station, almost at the hostel.
Where are we?
I don't know where we are, so we're going to go back to the car, continue our journey.
Yeah. This is brilliant.
Yes.
The hostel was quite nice. I mean, it was a bit dark at night, couldn't see a thing. After that long journey, these nice sofas, heaven.
The hostel was a bit bummy, in my opinion, because the hostel that we went to in the practice was much nicer, so I expected like a nicer place, but I mean, we could sleep, so.
So we arrived.
One sec. So we're at the scout camp now.
That's like an old person's home.
We're gonna order some pizza.
Rocks.
We're basically in the middle of nowhere, just in some random
No
building.
service.
Yeah, no service.
Well, basically, like, slumming it.
I didn't like the actual hostel. I think it was in kind of a weird area, and like when we got there, I just didn't even realise we were there. I was like looking around, like where are we going to sleep? Because it didn't look like there were buildings around. Like it just looked like a really weird, isolated area.
The dark blue one's mine, right?
She wants to know you got hitch. If we can just unpack and go through the back, and then we can have a chat about food and bits, because we need to start sorting stuff out. Yeah.
Stop. Look at this. Look at this room. Living luxury tonight. It wasn't as great as the practice night when we were at the hostel, but it was, I mean, we had a bed, warmth, which was better than everything else, so.
Rocking chair, rocking chair. Can we all sing along? Come on, guys! Rocking chair, rocking chair, rocking chair. We should do this for like boosted the rivals, like the P group. Original chair, rocking chair, rocking.
While the other team went to go and get pizzas and stuff, we sat there playing cards, and that was a really good moment.
Danelia taught us how to play blackjack.
I won blackjack.
It was a really funny moment. Naomi, she put a blackjack on me. It was me and her. It was just us two there. And basically that means that I would have to pick up 10. And so she was like, "Ha! You played yourself." And then I had another blackjack, so I put down that blackjack also. And she had to pick up 20, so she played herself.
First night, this is just the travel night, and we all get our own pizzas. Our own pizzas all to ourselves. I love this.
When we ordered the pizza, it was like some weird brand that had like the best pizza written on the box or something. Like we were just literally in the middle of nowhere, and it was just kind of freaking me out a bit.
How do you feel about tomorrow?
I'm nervous.
No,
Nadia?
I'm just not looking forward to it, but we can push through, we can do it.
We can do it. It will be fine. We'll finish
I just want to get it done and over with. I can't wait to start so it'd be closer to the finish. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why did we sign up for this?
You know?
No clue. I don't know why we did this.
I feel like we'll get to a peak and look at the site and we'll be like, okay, this is why we did this.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. That's what's my only motivation.
That was fun because it was like a distraction from what was about to happen. Like, it's like we all knew, but we were trying to kid ourselves into thinking like it was going to be this cute little like cabin type thing. But no, I mean, but the cards and stuff were fun. Yeah, we had fun.
Okay, so we're gonna go to sleep now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good night! It was a nice bonding experience and like distracted us from the struggles that we were going to have to go through.
We are officially starting the qualifying expedition. Tati and Rowan are in the room right now, but I don't wanna do this again. This is meant to be the peg night's sleep and I barely slept.
Good morning.
Is it good though?
Oh, sorry.
Delia's good.
It is the morning of our exhibition. So
Hello.
How are you?
I'm looking forward to it, really.
You're looking forward to it?
Yeah.
I don't think Naomi's looking forward to it. You know when you just feel disgusting?
I feel disgusting
Like,
already.
our face, I feel like my face is just so...
I haven't even been able to like wash my face properly, do you know what I mean? Like,
no.
with face wash.
Just like water, if
Water
that.
doesn't do the job, is that? I'm not going to be able to do that in the next days anyway. Leftover cold pizza. This isn't even a struggle. This is glorious compared to
What we're gonna have to do, to face, to experience, to survive.
We're about to leave and go to the starting point.
And my charger, right?
Yes, sorting out our lives. Yeah.
I remember being in the coach. It didn't feel like the practice at all. The practice, it was kind of like, oh, whoa, yeah, we're gonna start everything, this big moment leading up to it. And this one, it was kind of like, we drove to the start point, we got out of the car, and they were like, okay, walk.
He like pointed to, okay, we're going up there, and I was like, oh, I'm doing it again. I remember like putting my bag on, and I was like, why am I doing this again? Like genuinely, why am I doing this again? It didn't feel real. It was just kind of like, not a dream, like a nightmare maybe.
Yeah, first day going up the Old Man of Coniston was quite a climb, very steep. After that it was quite kind of gentle going along the top of the route, so that was fine. The weather was fine as well, so it wasn't like it was raining or anything, it was quite nice weather. I think right at the end, climbing down, that was kind of the toughest part of the day because it was very narrow and hard path to go down.
We walked up that mountain right at the start of the day, and I was just like, I hate uphill so much. So it was me and Tati at the back, and whenever it's me and Tati at the back, the conversations are just A1. And it was only day one, and I was already that tired, that achy. But right before we got to the campsite, we were just like, yeah, we've almost made it. Like the rest of the team are there. I just hear from the back, Naomi, help me! And I was just like, oh, what's going on? And we ran into like into the marsh. And I had to help her come out of that, so that was like a highlight of that day.
It wasn't that bad, but I don't know, it's just because I don't think I was mentally prepared for the first day, but it wasn't that bad because the weather was okay, and like we got told that the whole expedition the weather was going to be okay.
days, just because we were so naive to the pain and to like everything else that was to come.
I always just hate downhill. Like every day I just wake up just thinking about downhill and how much I was gonna hate it. Like I remember once like on our practice we were going downhill and I was like quite far back and I just had tears in my eyes like when is this gonna end?
I don't really remember the Wednesday march.
Wednesday dragged because it was that day where like we've just started but we're not really close to the end. That was the first time that I wasn't at the back going up a mountain actually, so I felt like that was an accomplishment of that day.
The thing that I mostly remember is that we got back to camp and it was dark basically, and that wasn't nice because we had to set up tents in the dark and like cook in the dark, and it was just, I didn't like it. I wanted light. Yeah, I don't remember that day much though, I'm not gonna lie.
Pain was starting to sink in. It was starting to feel a bit more annoying, but it was, I don't even remember what else happened on Wednesday.
Our instructor, Alid, came up to us and was just like, well, you've done the bulk of the expedition. We're just like, no, it wasn't even that bad. Like, we're getting there, we're getting there.
Thursday started out okay, but once the rain started, once we're going through that massive, like, marshy area, that was absolute hell.
Thursday was the worst day.
Thursday was hell. The weather was awful. It was just raining loads and loads and loads, and it was just slippery.
And then going down the hill on the other side, because the path we were going down was really slippery.
Everyone in our team slipped.
Walking down that waterfall, that was hell. That was actual hell.
And one time I slipped, I banged my hand, I was just like, nope, expedition's over, I've broken my wrist.
Me and Danelia, there was this point we were trying to sing songs, you know, lift the mood. So we were singing this song called Wi-Fi Wifey. And I was there enjoying my time. I was like, you're my Wi-Fi wife. Slip. I slipped, I fell. I looked like Woody from Toy Story. I was on the ground.
I don't see why we're walking down waterfalls. Like, I'm not a fish. I'm not gonna start swimming. Like, please, just give me a path.
There was no way of crossing those rocks without slipping.
There was a time when I fell, and I fell loads, but this time was really painful because it was like I fell, and then I fell to my fell on my back, and then fell to my side and like hit the side of a rock. And Naomi was behind me, and she was like, "Oh, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah," like in like a blunt voice. I was just like, "Yeah," but in my head I was like, "No," like, I was in so much pain.
It was raining all the time, the weather was terrible, we had the worst terrain going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down.
We ended up in the middle of the day walking in this area for what literally seemed like hours and hours, like the whole day. And me and Danelia were near the front, and there was Sam off like quite a while back, and sometimes like Danelia would be like stop, and we'd turn around, we literally wouldn't see anyone else.
Atrocious, because there was so much rain, so marshy, disgusting.
And then obviously we didn't actually make it to the campsite, which was another downer.
So that day was kind of bad as well.
Usually being in the tents, like, because I was actually with Tati, it was like really fun and it was really cute. But that day, like, it was still cute and stuff, but it was cold and it was wet, and like throughout the whole night it was just rain, 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 rain. Like, we couldn't get to sleep because it was just such a loud rain on the tents and it was cold in the tent.
I feel like Friday was quite stressful. Like, we woke up and our instructor was just like getting a bit annoyed, like, because we've been quite slow at packing our stuff away. But we were like climbing up a mountain that literally seemed like it came like off the motorway or something. Like, we crossed this weird road and then just went up a mountain. It seemed like it was going on for ages.
Friday was quite a nice experience because we started off before dawn, so you kind of got to see the stars and the constellations, which you don't really get to see in the city.
We had to start in the dark, which I didn't like because we were mountaineering in the dark.
My torch broke on the first night, so I didn't have a torch. My whole team did, I didn't.
So I was using their light to guide me.
It's 5 a.m. and we were trying to put everything down and start walking. And Naomi didn't have a torch, so she was like using my head torch as light. She was like, she kept on coming really close to me, but like, Ryan, move over here, so she could like see the light and actually walk.
So it wasn't too hard a day in terms of climbing or anything. So I quite enjoyed Friday, especially because the weather was quite nice as well.
Friday wasn't that bad. It was okay. I feel like with Friday I was just really motivated to finish, so like I just went as fast as I could and like I made it better, and eventually we finished and it was all good.
Felt brilliant. I mean, like, because there wasn't any more left to walk. That was kind of brilliant.
It felt good to finish. It felt so good. I feel like when I first finished, it was like it didn't feel real.
So great. It was great to finish.
It felt really good when we finished, but it did take ages.
It's that feeling of accomplishment that all we had all gone through, and kind of like walking through all that terrain, difficult terrain and everything, and we'd actually managed to complete it.
The practice expeditions that were done, but let's just wait till October with this. It's like we're finally done.
It felt weird, but it felt so good, just knowing I never have to walk up a mountain in my life again.
That's what I feel like it felt kind of weird, and then like after when we were in the minibus, like it just felt really weird like finishing and not like just walking up the mountain anymore.
Last time when we finished, I was more like happy, like yay. This time I was like angry, like why did I do this to myself? But I was just happy that it was done, so that was good.
I think I felt quite proud of myself.
I'll probably never go like walk up a mountain again. Like